The cuckoo's calling, the daffodils blooming, and the temperature's rising. Spring has sprung, and that means it's wedding season, right? Well, not exactly. Weddings are now 24/7, 365 days of the year, and at KIRKCALDY4ALL we've scoured the world, well, actually Kirkcaldy High Street, to bring you our unique series of wedding expert videos, so that you get the perfect service on your perfect day.
What I've learned over the years is that bridal hair, apart from the actual visual aspect, it's the emotional aspect of wedding hair as well. It is the most important day in a woman's life, and it isn't just like coming in for the regular appointment. Sometimes we are fortunate because we build up a relationship with a client and we get to know them, and then we are entrusted with their wedding hair that day. However, sometimes out of the blue you might get somebody coming along who's a stranger who comes back to the town to have their hair dressed for the day. That's a little bit more challenging because we do have to get to know them. And in both situations, what's extremely important is that we have a rehearsal or a practice beforehand. And I believe that that should happen at least 4 weeks beforehand, if that's possible. Usually by that time, the bride has chosen her dress, the bride has chosen every other aspect of the wedding day, and usually, not always, but usually the hair is the last thing. And it's only right that, you know, we get an idea of what the dress looks like, etc. Now, in years gone by, we would have a portfolio of wedding hair, and we'd sit down and find their likes, and often even more useful, their dislikes. But these days, we've still got the portfolio hard copy, but now we've got our iPad where we build up our portfolio of bridal ideas, and then we can create a file just for them on the things they liked and they didn't like. When it actually comes to the practice, always we would want to do a practice or rehearsal on the bride, and if the bride wanted, we would do bridesmaids as well. I wouldn't think that's always the case, but some brides do want that service. Why is it important to have a hairdressing salon in the high street or town centre of a town? Well, I wouldn't say that it's absolutely vital. There are very many salons that are not in town centre locations that are successful. In fact, we ourselves started off in another town in the middle of a housing scheme. Has it been better for us being in a town centre? Most definitely yes, although over the years we all know that town centres have changed. And I think then you would look at hairdressing salons in the main coming under the banner of independence, and I think that's the future of a high street, to have more and more independence, and that's exactly what salons are. When we think about weddings, we tend to think that it's going to be sunny and it's in the spring and it's in the summer. But with our unreliable and unpredictable climate, that isn't always the case. So although one may think that autumn and winter weddings in general are perhaps a little bit more challenging, at least we know what the weather conditions are going to be like, whereas if we get a bad day in summer, that isn't what we were expecting. I think the main things to take into account is that we have transport ready for the wedding party to pick them up, that we have umbrellas, whether they've got umbrellas or not, but these are some of the things that we would sit and talk about beforehand. We have a long checklist. We'd sit down. It's not just the hair we're going to talk about, it's the other considerations. For instance, have they thought about what they're wearing when they arrive? Have they thought they can unbutton it and take it off rather than pull it over the head? These seem like little things, but they're big things. So they are things that are important 12 months of the year.
From roses to rings, from kilts to confetti, for less tantrums and more tiaras, a visit to the experts in Kirkcaldy's town centre is a must. Or why not visit the KIRKCALDY4ALL website and Facebook pages and get more info on making your day one to remember.